Alright guys, so here we are for the first episode of F1 2014 Career Mode. Now you guys have been deciding the team that I should be driving for in this first season of Career Mode, and I'll tell you it came very close between McLaren and Ferrari, but unfortunately there's only one team we can drive for. Let's see who it is. So after all the votes, it seems we're driving for Ferrari in this first season of F1 2014 Career Mode. First off, thank you for all the votes that you guys put in. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. If we can hit 2k likes on this video, then I'll release the second episode of Career Mode today. So we'll see how that goes. But here we are in Melbourne. I'm just running with a fairly normal setup for what you'd expect on this game. I've had this game for about 2 to 3 weeks. Already, so I do have a general feeling as to what the handling is going to be like and how the setups work. But in saying that, this is actually my first laps on the PS3, so it's going to be very different. I've always found that F1 games have been fairly different across the different platforms, and also to add to the challenge of this race, I'll be racing with no game sound, so it's going to make it a lot tougher to just get a general feel of how the car is feeling, because you don't have that feel for what you're doing in terms of the throttle. And the way that the handling model is this year is it's really wheel spinny. There's not much rear traction, and in saying that, there's not that much grip through high-speed corners either due to the reduced downforce. So the way that the cars are this year just makes them a lot harder to drive, and as you can see, our first lap's actually going purple so far, but none of the big teams have really put in their laps until now. We fast-forwarded a few minutes in the session, nearly towards the end of the session. We put on a set of option tyres now, and we're pretty much going for a qualifying run just to see how this Ferrari stacks up against some of the best teams here in Formula 1. So far, Lewis Hamilton has a 29.453 against his name. So far you can see that the times in comparison to F1 2013 are much slower this year, and I must add that I'm running with Legend AI as well. So the hardest difficulty, I'm running with no assists and also no game sound, so it makes it very tough to get in the best possible lap times so far. But we set a 1:30.1. You know, it wasn't too bad. Got us in the top 10, and it got us a few positions in front of our teammate Fernando Alonso. So that's a very good opening account to our career mode campaign. We'll now go into qualifying now, put on a set of option tyres on straight away. I'm going to save up all my prime sets for the race, just in case the tyre wear is bad. I'm not too sure how it's going to be in terms of career mode, because Grand Prix mode, the mode I've been racing with so far, has been a little bit lenient on the tyres, but career mode, as always, is always tougher on the tyre wear because there's just not the same amount of upgrades you have on the car as what you do online or in Grand Prix mode. But anyway, we're cutting to Q2 now. We put in a 128.7, going significantly faster than what we did in practice, but still it's not enough to get us into Q3 so far. Provisionally, we're in P12 at the moment, and we're actually struggling quite a bit. On general pace, it looks like we might just about get into Q3 on this lap. The final corner there is just so demanding in terms of traction and just getting the car turned in. It really requires a good car to get you through that third sector. And yes, we are just into Q3. Our pace doesn't look that good in comparison to Alonso, who's turned the wick up in qualifying. So I think I'm going to stay in P10. I'm not going to set a Q3 lap. I'm going to start on a fresh set of tyres, and hopefully that should be enough to give me some kind of strategy advantage in the race. Alright, so here we are in the garage, just waiting to go to the grid for our first F1 2014 career mode race. To say I'm a little bit nervous is a bit of an understatement. I really want to get off to a really good start here in this season. Here you can see I'm just going through the setup just to show you guys what I'm running with this weekend. Also subscribe if you want to see setups as well, because I do those on my videos as well. In terms of the strategy, we've got a 2-stop today, stopping on lap 9 and 20. I may switch to 2 prime stints if the tyre wear is bad enough. Teammate challenge Alonso opening his count fairly nicely, already out qualifying us. But here we go, our first race in Melbourne. Wish me luck. Alright, so here we go, ready for the start of our career mode season, and away we go for season 1 of F1 2014 career mode. Remember, I don't have game sounds, so the start was completely a guess as to when I should have shifted up for second gear, but coming through turn 1 now, we'll try and go up the inside of the two Williams. Vettel gets stuck on the inside, and that promotes us up into P8 now. Hulkenberg is up next, we'll try and get past him as we run down to turn 3 now. The two Williams cars in front of us with Massa harvesting ERS as we go down the inside of Ricciardo into P4, just about. Holding it around the outside now for turn 5, and it looks like we've just got the job done into P4. It's been a fantastic start here in this Grand Prix so far. Next up is our teammate Fernando Alonso. He's trying to apply the pressure to the two Mercedes cars. I believe Hamilton still has the lead of this race. Rosberg follows him as well in second. Now lap 3 we can see is that Felipe Massa trying to pass us on the DRS straight here on the run to turn 1. Looks like he might pass us up the inside, but no, he brakes early. We take him back around the outside and back up into P4. We can see again coming out of the final corner, we're just struggling for that rear traction, and Massa is through on us once again, but we'll try and go up the inside just like we did a few laps ago, and there we go, job done, back up into P4. And again, this time it's Vettel. He's trying to go around the outside. We can see Ricciardo behind him is putting us under pressure as well. We go side by side into turn 1. Vettel holds it around the outside, so very refreshing to see that the AI are attempting moves, especially as bold as around the outside at turn 1. It's now we're on lap 8. We're coming in for our first pit stop of the day. We're putting on a set of prime tyres, and we actually were 1 lap short of our scheduled stop, so looks like we're struggling just ever so slightly at the moment. It might be that I was just a little bit too greedy on my rear tyres, just burning up, you know, that rear grip that I had. But either way, rejoining on the track, I think Vettel has jumped us, so effectively we're in P6 or something like that. I think we were effectively P5 just before we came into the pits. We can see some cars staying out as they started on primes. So it's quite interesting to see that the AI are running split strategies in this race. Some cars opted for options in this middle stint, others went for primes. Even some cars went for double primes over the course of the race. But now lap 9, we've gone up to the back of Massa through the chicane, and we get past him on the run up to the 3rd sector now. We can see Max Chilton, ladies and gentlemen, is in the points. He's in P9. Of course, he hasn't stopped yet, but that's just fantastic to see that Amurshak is holding up those cars. It allowed me to get past those guys and back up into P8. Next up, we can see Hulkenberg coming out of the pits as he made his stop. So he stayed out a fairly long time in his Force India, making that long first stint work. And we just get him back, but I don't think we'll be able to catch Ricciardo now, as it seems we're sort of struggling in this race in comparison to what we were in qualifying. But either way, lap 18, we can see Jenson Button now trying to pass us on this start-finish straight. We might hold that position. Yes, we do, into P7, just like we were so far. But anyway, cutting to the end of lap 19, we can see we're coming in for our final stop now. And I've opted to go for the conservative strategy here. I'm going onto the primes once again, just so I can get myself to the finish of this race. I've been struggling with the rear traction, especially with the lack of game sounds. I've been spinning up the rears a little bit too much, and that's been affecting me. The pit stop was a 3.8 seconds, fairly standard there, and a little bit slower than what we see in terms of the times in Grand Prix mode, so that's quite interesting to note. But rejoining on the track, we can see Hulkenberg and company. They've jumped us again. So I think, you know, they've perfected the undercut since they did the options in the middle stint. You know, they came in a lot earlier, put in some really good lap times, and now they've jumped me, and I think a lot of other people did that as well. So I need to be wary of that, as we can see Bottas making a mistake there through the middle sector. And good to see that the AI have a little bit more realism this year with the mistakes that they sometimes make. But cutting to the final lap now, lap 29, we can see Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix. I think Nico Rosberg finished in second to round out a Mercedes 1-2. We're still in 9th place at the moment, coming through the final corner, and we can see that Bottas has got a really good run. He's passed us on the run up to the finish line. We've dropped a place, finished in P10 in our very first race of career mode for F1 2014. Guys, if you enjoyed that, then leave a like. Remember, if we hit 2k likes, then I'll release the second episode of career mode today. So there we go, first race, finished in 10th place. I believe our teammate Fernando Alonso finished on the podium as well, so he's really put us to shame. It looks like we're following out the career mode path of Kimi Räikkönen to absolute perfection so far. We can see we've achieved some trophies because I am racing on the PS3, first race of course, but big gap to the leaders. It seemed they had a lot of pace over us, and it's going to take a lot of let's say, perfection to sort of master the way the handling model works this year. Definitely, you have to be a lot more progressive on the throttle and all that kind of thing. Setups, of course, I think we still might need to find the optimal setup, especially for Melbourne. I didn't really feel that comfortable in comparison to some other tracks on this game. Constructors, Ferrari is in third place, 27 points behind Mercedes, AMG, Petronas so far after the first round of this championship. It's going to be very tough to win it. Of course, still finishing third is going to be a mighty challenge indeed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to this channel. I'm going to be uploading many more F1 2014 career mode videos, online races, absolutely everything. So that's been this video for today. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you have any suggestions as to any improvements you'd like to see to add to this series, and let me know down in the comments. But until my next video, guys, I'll see you next time.